don't know where to begin with this video. So this video is going to be a response to an email request that I received. And I'm like, excuse me y'all, I just had some orange juice. But I'm like, what? What? Why? Why, yo? I mean, granted, I do invite people to message me, to inbox me if they have questions, specifically questions that they would like for me to address in videos, right? But come on, you guys, soliciting yourselves? Like, seriously? Come on. Hold on, let me find this email. It's crazy. Good morning, Diedrich. So as you guys can see from the title, we are going to talk about submissive white men. As soon as I can open up this inbox message, if it'll allow me to do a drop down of my inbox, because it's showing only my unread messages. I'm like, what? I check my inbox every day, you guys. I check my email every single day. Hold on. Okay, here we go. It was sent 6 hours ago. I'm not going to read the person's name, okay? But I'm like, why? Why, guys? So he says, I don't mean to bother you. Now, this is sent at 2:19 in the morning. I have no idea what time zone this person is on to send a message like this, okay? He says, I don't mean to bother you, but you are such an amazing ebony queen. I just want to tell you how much I would love to be owned as your sissy white boy slave and worship you like you deserve. No. I'm like, what? I mean, like I said, granted, I do receive a lot of inbox messages from people just giving me thanks, congrats, showing their appreciation and gratitude towards me talking about different topics on my videos, and just them giving me thanks in general, just for being who I am, right? So I do appreciate when people take the time out of their day to give me gratitude, right? To show me respect and appreciation. But I have to address this email here, like, honestly though. Now my first reaction, because granted I read this email during my morning routine. I usually get up in the morning, of course do my hygiene, check my email, and I stumbled across this. I'm just like, this is my reaction, like, sissy white boy slave. First of all, I could have sworn I made it clear, right? I am attracted to black men, to melanated men, shall I say, right? That's just my preference. I have no interest. I have no interest, absolutely none, in dating a white guy. First and foremost. Secondly, boy, slave, Now I would have this face if it was a freaking black man who sent this email, right? So this face is mainly towards not the fact that, oh, he's white, okay, but I had to throw that out there that I do have a preference for black men, because I get a lot of email from white men and they're just like, oh, you're beautiful, oh, even on dating sites, I'm just like, sorry, but my interest is, a lot of times I just ignore. I would have this reaction. This reaction is mainly towards the idea of this white boy. He calls himself a sissy. And by the way, sissy is more like a derogatory term given to homosexual men. Sissy. We all know that. Sissy, right? He wants to be a slave. My slave. I guess he is a slave to other people, but he wants to be my slave. And I have this face because I'm just like, do you guys not know? Like, apparently he does not watch my videos, right? So, I have made it clear that I myself am a submissive. I have no interest in dominating a man. I have no interest in being involved with a submissive man, sissy boy. That to me is a complete turn off. That's why I'm just like and the funny thing, I don't even think I get messages like this from black men. I'm trying to remember. I don't think a black man has asked me to dominate him necessarily and for him to be my bitch. Right? Like soliciting himself to be my bitch or boy toy. I don't think a black man has ever, because I think black men got common sense to know that, okay, she clearly, like, this is not her thing. I don't know what it is with these white men that just keep insisting on soliciting themselves to me. Just like, yo, go somewhere else. It's a turn off. Like, I'm completely turned off. Beyond that, like, I'm almost disgusted because the initial reaction that I had when I read sissy, boy slave, this is what came to mind, okay? Because the fact that you're sending me a random unsolicited email, like damn near selling yourself, begging to worship me. You don't even know me. I mean, you see my videos, but you don't know me. I think that it's not safe to be soliciting yourself like that online. I made videos about that, right? Cuckold safety tips. You guys go back and watch that. My video on cuckold safety tips. I made that video in response to seeing how people were coming to my comment section, basically treating it as like a dating site, right? Exchanging information, trying to do hookups. I'm like, listen, y'all can do what y'all want to do in your own time, in your own space, right? But being that I noticed this, I observed this kind of behavior, like I had to say something, so I made a video about cuckold safety tips. It's like, it's not a good idea to be meeting people offline, like random people offline, offering yourself sexually to them. I mean, listen, it's nothing wrong, granted, I have to be clear. There's nothing wrong, right, with exploring different sexual alternative lifestyles, engaging in alternative sexual activities and behaviors, because, listen, I'm a submissive myself. I'm into the world of BDSM. So I have to make that clear. But I'm not, just because I'm a submissive doesn't mean I'm just out there like, oh, I'm a submissive. I want a man to dominate me. And what even irks me on dating sites is because I do have the hashtag BDSM in my profile, and when guys come to me assuming that I'm just here to be like used, like that is a turn off. So I feel like people just misconstrue this whole idea of what BDSM means. They automatically think that it's sexual, and for me, like, listen, I'm 37 years old. I am at a point in my life where I am not out here just having sex, like fucking this person, that person, throwing my body out just to be used and abused. Like, no, I have respect for myself. Always have respect for myself. And I'm ready to settle down and get married and build a family. That's the point in my life where I am. So, you want me to do what? It's like, go find you somebody else to play with, because it's just a turn off. It comes off as a person, like you come off as a person who does not have respect for self, right? Don't value yourself. Clearly you don't, because you're just offering yourself to random people. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the first. This is something that this guy does on a regular basis. And that is very, that's sad. That's sad that you don't value yourself. If you want to be, let's say, a person's sissy, right, and slave, like, you have to be very careful about how you go about that. And maybe I should talk about that a little bit, or make a separate video on that, because being a submissive can be a very dangerous territory to embark upon. Like, you just can't be out here, first of all, advertising that you are a slave, because a lot of people will take advantage of that. Luckily, I'm a good person, right? But let's say I wasn't a good person and I received this email. Like, you would easily get taken advantage of by someone. I can be a freaking predator. I can be a male predator and somebody out to destroy other people's lives, and you're talking about you want to be a slave? Like, can you imagine the many scenarios that can take place? Yes, Diedrich says real men and women want more in life than just sex and being used. It's like, I mean, listen, I'm not here to judge, because I do understand that, of course, there are certain benefits and, you know, ways of being gratified sexually, right? Sex is connected to a person's psychology and spirituality. So it's all connected, right? So people have different ways of connecting with people, you know, so that they can attain a certain feeling, right? They can reach a certain level of ecstasy, you know what I'm saying, through the medium of having sex or intercourse with someone, right? So I'm not necessarily opposed to just sexual activity. I'm just saying, like, what do you want to get to know a person first? Right? Or are you just out here randomly mixing your energy with other people's energy and taking their energy into yours? Because that's not safe. And I immediately thought, like, this person, like I said, doesn't have respect for himself. He probably most likely has been exposed to STDs. Like, had to. Because any person that is out there just offering himself like that, you know, I mean, it's no surprise that they say within the LGBTQ community, like, yo, STDs run rampant. And granted, STDs don't discriminate, right? So heterosexuals, yes, are susceptible to getting STDs. But in certain demographic, right, in certain groups of people, STDs are more rampant. They run more rampant, which means they're more prevalent because of their behavior, right? It's because of what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like to fuck. They like to explore. They're having fun. And they don't protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? Some people, not all. I'm not here to cast everybody in one box, but I mean, it's no surprise. Like HIV, you look at the numbers. Stats don't lie, right? I'm just here reporting what's already known to the general public. You know? Stats don't lie. Sissy white boy slave. I'm like, yeah, he definitely probably been exposed to numerous STDs, you know? That's why I made that face, like, And you want to bring that shit over here? Like, who in their right mind? Like, who in their right mind who has respect for themselves? Like, you gotta value your body, yo. Your body is sacred. You just do not engage with people like that. Like, I'm even careful who I like allow to like come into my mental space. You know what I'm saying? Let alone my physical space. And for him to send this email at 2:19, I'm like, I wonder what time zone he's in. You know, because if you're up at night, like, what are you doing, yo? What are you doing? Sending out random email messages, just trying to get a hit? Like, you're just trying to be accepted? The hell? He's probably been used and abused and just tossed and turned by men, too. I would not be surprised. I mean, who could better dominate and treat a sissy boy like a slave and a bitch than a freaking another man? So I would not be surprised if that's what he's succumbed himself to. But I have to get on here and make it clear, you guys. Like, I like black melanated men. That's my preference. And above and beyond that, as it relates to this topic, I have no interest in dominating a man. That to me is a turnoff. Like, I could have sworn I made that clear. I like dominant men. And when we think of domination, it's not always about sex. For me, it's not even really about sex. Like, this is a trick here because I think like men don't know what it means to be dominant. A lot of men don't because times have changed, right? I've gotten even asked that question, like, what does it mean to be dominant? What do you mean by that? Like, if I had to get on here and explain what it means to be a dominant man, I'm not attracted to you. Because a dominant man knows what it means to be dominant. But because of the context of our society has changed and the roles between men and women have somewhat become equal on all aspects, especially as it relates to the contribution to the household, financial contribution to the household. Because let's be clear, money does change the dynamic between a man and a woman. We cannot there's no way around it. There's no way around it, right? And I know that you have some men and women who have become socialized to just accept this new change, this new shift between the sexes, right? And they're okay with contributing 50-50 towards the bills. And it's just like, hey, you do you. But it does change the dynamic. And it's the reason why women relate to men in such a way that they do. And men just feel like they don't feel manly anymore. It's just like, and especially within the context of the black man and the black woman, black men don't even feel like they're needed anymore, right? Because black women out-earn black men. Black women are taking care of their own shit. You know, so I had this conversation once before with a guy who got extremely offended, but I had to like be direct. That's the kind of person I am. Just give it to a person straightforward, right? And I said that black women don't really have a need for black men, and he took it like, yo, he took it as if like I just took a knife and sliced his throat, yo. That's how he took it, and it's just like, listen. Don't hate the messenger, right? I am not saying I don't need a black man. So you have to be careful with words and listen carefully when it comes to understanding language, right? I'm saying there, in the context of our society, women, black women specifically, don't need black men. What reason does a black woman need a black man? Okay, for the obvious, right? To procreate. You cannot have kids, of course, if you don't have two sexes, right? A male, female. Makes sense, right? But beyond that, you know, What reason does a black woman need a black man? Black men have made themselves obsolete. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be valued, you want to be needed, you got to make yourself needed. If you're coming like, oh, well, you're questioning who's going to pay for the first date, and you're like, I don't really want to pay for the first date. Like, yo, what? I ask myself, like, why am I even here? Like, what are we doing? What reason? I can treat myself to very fine cuisines, you know? I've talked about this before in previous videos, but this is all tied into this whole idea of dominance and submission. Like, I don't see how can I submit to a man that isn't even dominant? You're not opening doors. You're not, you're not paying the bills. You're not dominant, first of all, in our society. So that's unfortunate, because that's a whole socio-political issue there, that is bigger than just us as individuals, male and female, right? Predicated on many years of systemic racism. So I get it. But just on the things that you have control over as a man, right? Like, just showing up, being a man, they don't know what this means. They don't know what it means to be dominant. You got to go back a couple or several decades for a man to really know, like, what it means to be a man. What sets you apart from the female gender, right? Because otherwise, we're the same. We're the same. Like, what are you bringing that's different than what a female would bring to me, right? Or a friend. I mean, if I want to do 50-50 towards a date, I can go out and hang out with my girls. You know what I'm saying? It does matter. It matters, especially when you're talking about building a family, right? Nurturing kids, building a family system. But I mean, that's a difficult topic, right? Because a lot of men are faced with the reality that they ain't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, with discrimination, black men being targeted, it's just like, okay, they're up against a lot, but for me, that's no excuse, because you have black men that have risen above and beyond those barriers, and they're taking care of their shit. You know what I'm saying? They're on their A game. They're taking care of families. Not to say that a woman has to be at home and not work and isn't bringing in any income. No, women, we're making money. We're making more money than y'all ass. You know what I'm saying? It's just to say that man knowing his position in the household and providing, it creates a whole different dynamic. Try it, guys, when you provide for a woman. But they can't afford it. When you provide, you protect. You know what I'm saying? You wear the pants in a relationship. When you start saying, like, women paying for everything, right? I'm talking about everything. You can see who wearing a pant. Women start wearing those pants in that relationship. Because it's just like, shit, money is power. This is what it is. You can say, oh, money is just paper, da-da-da-da. No, listen, let's bring it back down to reality. Money is power. I don't know what society you live in, but this is America, and money is power. That's just the way it is. So, no, I have no interest in dominating a man. I've actually been in a relationship like that. I wore the fucking pants. I ran that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it was fun. I was in control, And I was in control of everything, even the finances. Like, his paycheck went to my bank account, But honestly, it didn't work because I didn't have respect for him. How can you respect a guy like that, I mean, I called all the shots. What I said went. I had the final say. He did what I told him to do, It's just, I mean, we're best friends. But dating? No. Marriage? No. No. It's just something that doesn't sit right. It's not natural. It's just like something within me as a woman that it doesn't resonate with me. Like, I need to know I have a man, like, yo, like, that got shit on lock, that can make decisions, you know what I'm saying, for himself first and foremost, and for us as a family unit. No, I'm not attracted to sissies, quote unquote. I'm not attracted to submissive men. I've never been attracted to that. That's just not my thing. So each his own, though. What you like is different than what I like. You know? But that's what I like. And I could have sworn I made that clear over and over again, but yet white men just mess. Like, you're wasting your time. You messaging me, offering yourself. That's just a waste of your time. Why? Why do that to yourself? I try to put it in easy terms, Diedrich. So it should be very easy to understand, you know. Now, like I said, I know our society has evolved. So many people will disagree. They have disagreed. I've talked about this before. I've made posts on social media with memes, and people are like, you know, but the reason why is because, you know, people are influenced by the media, right? When I say media, I mean mainstream media. So whatever's popular in the mainstream media, like, that's what they go with. But we got to get back to nature. Like, I'm all about doing things in order, right? There's an order of how things should be done. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. I like getting back to the natural order of things. Man being head of the household. It doesn't devalue a woman's worth because a man is a head of the household. And he, you know, makes decisions for the family. Not to say that a woman does not have input and she's just sitting there like a freaking bimbo, agreeing and doing everything he says. It's not that. It's just, come on, like, two people cannot drive a freaking ship. You know what I'm saying? There can be not be two captains. Like, one person has to be the head, and that's just what I like, you know? But I think men have been the head for so long that it is a bit of a relief, I think, for men nowadays in this society that has evolved to just be able to sit back sometimes and just let the woman do. So they kind of take turns. It's like, you know, kind of a seesaw relationship. You know, sometimes she's the you know, or the head, and, you know, sometimes he's just, you know, chilling, and sometimes he takes the head lead role, and, you know, she's, you know, kicked back. So I think it does provide a bit of relief, and one can say that that's a more balanced relationship, or a more healthy, adaptive relationship, when both people are equally have equal power in the relationship, right? It's more of an egalitarian relationship, you know. But I like to look at submission as power. There's a whole nother topic, but I had to just address that video. I want you guys to share your thoughts. Like, what is this? That's my question to men, to white men. Like, what is it? What? Why? What? Why black women? Why do you want to be dominated by black women? What is it? What turns you on about that? You know, I'm curious. I can be curious. Listen, I can talk about a range of topics. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily interested in participating in that kind of activity, you know? I talk about all kind of shit. Cuckold. I have viral videos, many viral videos on cuckold. But I'm not participating, and I'm not interested in that. But I can talk about it because I'm interested in discussion. Like, I talk about a range of things, you know? I like to talk clearly. But so that, yeah, I'm interested, you guys. Let me know. White men, like, what is it? What is it about? I need a white man who is very good with his words to formulate a detailed response on what a attracts you to a dominant black woman? I'm curious. No judgment here. I'm just curious. And I will catch you guys later, okay? Have a blessed Sunday, you guys.